Hello, board members and the Troy community. This is the overview of the agenda for the May 8th board meeting. It's a regular board meeting and a few different things I wanted to go over. We have the same things in the beginning, the minutes, the obligations, the clubs. We have a lot of things in the administrative report to go over. A lot of people to recognize that we will at the board meeting and appreciate their work. Before I get into that, we have a couple different resignations. Greg Hall is an elementary teacher. We thank him for his service. Laura Suzuki is moving on to be with family in the Midwest, and we thank her. And then Brooke Soley, she stepped in during a difficult time, and we thank her for her service. And we have that position opened up right now. We have a lot of good things happening, especially this springtime and sports in the elementary school, in the junior high and high school. And a big thank you to our maintenance crew in getting things, keeping things going as we transition into some warmer temperatures too. District-wide, we have a lot of things to report on. The Morrison Memorial that we have put up in our elementary school. I encourage people to stop by and look at this display case in memory of our namesake of the elementary school. A lot of good information to remember everything that he did for us as a community and as a community leader. We're also working with Family Search to digitize all of our yearbooks. You've probably seen the request go out on social media to get all the old yearbooks, and we're hoping to have those digitized and then uploaded to our website and available to the public. We reported on the City of Troy encroachment permit. Encroachment, it's a legal term. It's not meaning that we did anything wrong. We had been in communication with the city, and this is just to formalize an area that they have access to for plumbing and for electrical. And we're working with our attorneys to make some adjustments to that. I want to report on and let you read through about the future of our 4-year-old program, our transitional kindergarten. As things have changed because of the legislative session, there might be some differences on how we enroll them and how some of that funding falls out. We should be getting some more information on how this is going to be affecting schools from the School Board Association soon. But we're hoping that we'd be able to continue with our A and B funding. That's the annual number belonging, how much we get per student. And continue with a classroom-based model. We may have to change up a little bit of our curriculum and our focus, but again, we'll be getting some more information there. We've nailed down the track costs a little bit more, and you can get in there and see how much we're looking at now as a base cost. $527,000 is what we're looking at for the funding goal. And I think we've stripped it down as much as we can to create a track that would be usable and feasible for our community. Also, as far as a state report, there is a change in graduation requirements, kind of an interesting component, more civics and more financial literacy that are going to be required. Again, we will be talking about that when we're modifying and updating the student handbook. The Safe Routes to School design that we're partnering with TLOC and also the community library and the city, and we've come up with a final design. It has been submitted for the final grant to the state, and hopefully we'll hear back from them soon. We have an updated certified PIR schedule that we'll be talking about in the action items. We've had a drug dog visit and seen things go pretty well. We didn't have any hits or any problems with that. Just to report on ACT data, we actually increased our district composite by 3 points. Our goal was to increase it by over 1 point. We increased it by 3 points. So a big thank you to a lot of these subject areas where we really increased when we have science, English, a huge increase there. And there's a couple different things we've been talking about would have caused this, since we can maintain that momentum. I also included the calendar and schedule surveys, the staff and the parent community from the listening session that we had a week ago. Report on a couple grants. We received 2 different gifted and talented grants, $30,000 each, one for the elementary school, one for the high school. We're excited about that and the opportunities that we'll provide for our students next year. We've also applied for a grant that provides protective equipment for our shop students. And we've also applied for a new grant. It's a federal grant. It's overseen by the state. A Stronger Connections grant. So this is to provide therapeutic services if we need, intervention services. We applied for just over $200,000, and we're very hopeful for that grant. A reminder to the board that we have board training in July 27th. And for board members, whether you're new or veteran to this position, there's a lot of training available in May and June and throughout the summer by the School Board Association. And I encourage you to get in and be part of that training. We do have a technology report. Jonathan is going to be presenting on that. And we have several people that we're recommending for hire. For rehire, Keith Haggerty, Jonathan Graves in their director positions. We are recommending Ronell Morton as a district paraprofessional. At this point, it looks like we might only need one summer school teacher, Heidi Sedler. Cody Orr, we're recommending as a high school basketball coach. And as assistant high school football coaches, Scott Hoffman and Jeff Hawk. And then we have a list of non-tenure teachers, and I encourage you to go through. We have a couple who this is their tenure year, and tenure is when a teacher is offered their 4th contract. So we have some elementary teachers we're recommending, and then some that are working in both 7 through 12, so both districts, the elementary school and the high school district. So we have a lot of great staff to renew and honor at this time. Brittany Rudder, I included her down here because she's brand new to the district. And then we have some volleyball, Jenna Hall, Kyla Gross as volleyball coaches, and Michael Miller as a junior high football coach. I included Christina Schertl's draft contract. They're still going through some negotiations, but it's still an action item. There might be some more tweaks as the week goes by, but hopefully the board and district can finalize this by this Monday, May 8th. And then a short MOU to allow teachers to get paid $200 a day for some professional development. And then just a minor calendar update. We want to include another professional development day on September 29th. And so we would remove the hunting day and include September 29th as a professional development day. 2 policies that are the second reading, so they're not new. You've already seen those before. The Emergency Management Guide, this is required to review and approve every year. And there's no changes that we have recommended at this point. We can change it and update it at any time if we see a need during the year, but there is one time a year that the board is required to go through it and approve it. And then in response to a lot of the discussions that we had in response to the calendar and schedule, we have some methods to increase teacher preparation time. These are just ideas that we wanted to kick around as among administration. We've shared them with the union presidency and want to share it with the board, get some ideas, and see what other ways that we can make things a little bit better for our teachers and give them a little bit more prep time. Another part of the work session we want to discuss and get some feedback, because this is part of the community design. This is the front of the high school. We want to talk about what we want the high school design to look like. This is what it currently looks like. And just to remind you, this wall in front of the high school is leaning over. So that's what has precipitated this conversation with engineers and architects to get this designed and fixed. So we would remove the wall, put in a new wall, and change out the sidewalks. We're even looking at changing out some of the blue spruce in the front because they're getting really big, and the landscape architect is saying if we don't take them out now, it could be very difficult and they'll get mold up on the building and things like that. So we want to convert this front area into a lunch area and put a flagpole up here. We want to take down the Trojan pole. It's been up for over a decade now, and we want to make sure we have about a 40-foot flagpole in its place so we can really show the community and people who drive through that we love our country. And so these are some different designs for what we could do for the wall. We could do concrete, or we could do, this type of stamped concrete, or this keystone blocking. There's a lot of different ideas that we could look at. And going back to this, we want to do a stairway down onto the highway. This is where visitor parking would be, and just bring it back to that classic look that this school has had in the past, and match what it looks like now. So the blocking is one idea, and then replacing the fence in the front. the chain link fence with something a little bit more decorative. And these are just some different ideas that we've been provided. And we've also talked to the designers, the architects about changing the lighting up because we need to light up the flagpole, that 40-foot flagpole. It's going to look beautiful. And then light up the front of this beautiful 100-year-old building for the community to really enjoy and people who are driving through to also enjoy. So as we work with them, we will keep you updated on different designs, but we want to get your thoughts and ideas on anything that could make it a little bit better for our students and for our community. And then another thing that we wanted to discuss is a 10-year plan. It's always included in the administrative report. You can look at that and see if we might be missing anything there. Also, we have our district business clerk evaluation. So we'll be going into possibly going into executive session to discuss her evaluation and give her the praise that she deserves for all the excellent work that she's done in keeping things going. So other than that, if anyone has any questions, please let us know. This is going to be posted, and my door is always open to answer any questions about any of these items, or come to the board meeting and ask, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks, and have a great evening.